Friends, today we are going to explain the recently released movie Robin. This movie was not released in Hindi, it took a little time to explain. Now, please like the video as well. Let's start the story. So, at the beginning of the movie, we are shown a very big gangster named Sami who has built his own empire by selling drugs repeatedly, and now he is running out of space to produce drugs. Then he learns that the village named Redopur has good farming and he can grow cannabis where there and also work with drugs. Hearing this, Sunny summons his trusted man Vada to him and says that I want to take over the entire Redopur village at any cost. On his instructions, Vada goes to the village and takes over the entire village, and then he transfers the whole village in Shamik's name. After this, it is the year 2002 in Hyderabad, and we are shown a man named Murthy, who was the owner of a very large orphanage and was quite stressed due to financial issues. Actually, all the people who used to donate to the orphanage had stopped giving them money, so Murthy starts calling all those people to ask for money, but everyone outright refuses to give him any money. On the other hand, a child named Ram, who lives there, is shown sitting with his friends and telling them that we will all become very successful by studying, to which all his friends agree. And then they start committing petty thefts to cover the cost of their education. Over time, Ram also starts stealing money from the homes of all those people who had outright refused to donate money to the orphanage. As the years continue to pass by in this manner, Ram one evolves into a very prominent thief whom everyone has now started recognizing by the name Robinhood. Meanwhile, Ram once steals money from the house of a close associate of a very big minister, and to catch him, the minister hires a police officer named Victor. We are shown Victor, who was telling his constable to catch Robin Hood at any cost because he wanted to prove his capability by capturing Robin Hood. After this, Victor, along with his team, searches for Robin Hood for several days, but they do not find out anything about Robin Hood. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Ram goes to a place and steals a lot of gold and arranges a meeting in the basement of a mall to sell it. However, Dharm also learns about the stolen goods, and to catch him surrounds the entire mall from all sides with his entire team. As soon as Ram learns about this, he disguises himself and reaches the basement, where he outsmarts Victor, completes the gold deal, and escapes with the money. Then he gives all the money to Ram and Faiz, meaning Ram was still working for him and Faiz. As soon as Victor becomes aware of this situation, that he gave notice and then fled, he becomes extremely furious with his team. After which we see that Ram continues to change his disguise and commit many thefts, donating all the money to charity. This is how his life was passing. Ram prepares for another theft and reaches an apartment. Then Victor also learns about the robot theft, so he arrives at the apartment with his entire team to catch it and locks all the doors to capture the robot. He commits the theft wearing Ram's clothes and the helmet, then takes it to the building's roof, and here Ram was badly trapped. To catch him, Victor also reaches the roof. Then he starts laughing at Ram, thinking he has finally caught Robin, but just then Victor's team arrives and informs him, "Oh sir, this is not Robin Hood, this is actually Ram who filed a theft report against Robin a few days ago." On this, Ram tells Victor, "Sir, I just saw Robin Hood going down the roof," which makes Victor very angry, and he gives Ram a last warning and tells him to leave. However, after he departs, Victor becomes suspicious of Ram, suspecting that he is concealing something from us, so he instructs his team to continue following Ram, but upon reaching, Rama tells all his friends that he will no longer engage in theft and will work with honesty because the police are now after him, and if this continues, one day more police might come. Therefore, from now on, he wants to lead a good and honest life. After this, the scene shifts to London, and we are shown a girl named Neera and her father Vasudev, who were quite wealthy and were looking for a cancer treatment that is made like a gun. Additionally, it was Vasudev's dream to open his company in India as well, but that dream of Vasudev's had not yet been fulfilled. Here Neera comes to her father and asks for permission to go to India, for which Vasudev flatly refuses. Upon hearing this, Neera becomes upset with her father, and Vasudev, despite not wanting to, has to agree to send his son to India. It is revealed that Neera wants to go to India because everyone knows her by her father's name, but she wants to establish her own identity. This is why she wants to go to India, as it is the only place where her father has not yet opened a company. Meanwhile, Vasudev meets his friends and tells them everything, explaining that Neera is insisting on going to India, to which Vasudev's friend says it's fine. Send Neera to India for 10 days so that she can find peace of mind. Then Neera meets her cousin Jyoti, who is a boy, and asks him to find out about the best security company in India, upon which Jyoti searches on Google for the best company in India as per Neera's request, and the name of a company appears at the top, which had all the men from Daya. Anyway, then Jyoti calls that security company at Neera's behest, and we find out that he was also working at that company. Or when the company's and John's call is answered by Jyoti, he is about to state his price, which was a very low amount, because he also knew that who would hire us adults for security, and standing there, Ram gets a bit of an idea from Jyoti's style and snatches the mobile from John's hand, talks very nicely to Jyoti, and says that our fee is $1 lakh. Then at his request, Jyoti immediately transfers $1 lakh into the account, and then starts talking on the call that they also need to arrange a private jet. Then Ram tells Jyoti that they have only taken the advance payment so far, and after the work is done they will take another $1 lakh, to which Jyoti also agrees. However, he is left standing there amazed at how easily Ram covered the matter. After this, we see that Ram changes his entire appearance with the money sent by Jyoti and dresses very well to go to the airport to pick up Neera, where Neera ignores Ram and directly gets into the car and leaves. Now, observing her behavior, Ram understands that Neera is a very attitude-driven girl, but he was concentrating on his job. Anyway, the next day Ram takes Neera around everywhere in India, and this is when we discover the reason for Neera's visit to India. Actually, Neera's aunt called her to inform that her grandfather's health is quite serious. However, nothing of the sort actually happens. Rather, they have been residing in Radrapur village for quite some time, which Swami had internalized, and he had Neera's aunt make such a call so that Neera could come to India. Anyway, then the next day, before going to Dodpur village, Neera goes to a mall in Hyderabad where Jan calls big goons to make a name for his security so that he can save Neera and become a hero. But before they arrive, the thugs in the mall and the men sent by Neera's grandfather arrive there, whom Ram captures and learns everything from them. Then Sammy's goons escape from there, but while leaving they mistakenly kidnap another girl, and the men sent by Neera's grandfather follow them. At that moment, the men in front realize that someone is following them, so they kill those people and leave. The next day, Neera, Ram, and John reach Jaunpur village. At that time, all the villagers were telling Neera to flee from the village, to which Neera asks everyone why there is such an atmosphere of fear in this village. But just then Bader arrives with his men and begins to explain to Neera that they had devised a plan to summon her to the village, and now she will not be able to leave her until he personally meets her. Upon hearing this, Neera is utterly astonished. After this, Neera meets her grandfather, and upon seeing her, Neera's grandfather also says that you should leave from here, and you have made a big mistake by coming here, which frightens Neera. And then Neera starts fleeing from Radrapur village with Ram and John. At this point, Wada finds out about it and sends his men to stop Neera in the village. Then a fierce fight ensues between Ram and all the men sent by Wada, and instead of fleeing in anger, Ram starts heading straight towards Wada. Seeing him go, Neera asks Ram why he is going into the jaws of death. Then Ram told her that he would now save the entire village because the villagers were enduring a lot of torture and he couldn't see them like that. Hearing these things, Neera starts to like Ram somewhere. After this, Ram goes to Wada and beats him and all his men severely, and Neera is watching all this. Well, the next day, Wada calls Ram to meet him alone and says that you should keep Neera in this village for a week, and in return, I will give you a full 50 million rupees, which makes Ram happy and Neera. and John knew nothing about this offer. As he reaches home, John tells him to return to Hyderabad from the village. Then Ram says that they will now stay here for 1 week, and now they will take not 1 crore 50 lakh but a total of 6 crore 50 lakh rupees, which also included Neera's fee, and the 5 crore rupees for keeping her here that Wada was going to give. On the other hand, we are shown in the evening that a brother named David had gone to perform a drug deal in foreign, and after the entire deal was completed, he comes to Samadrappa village. Everyone informs Wada Sami that the master's granddaughter has arrived in the village. Hearing this, Swami tells Wada to go. Now inform the minister too, because he is also with us. On the other hand, Meera goes to the collector's office with Ram and files a complaint against Sami for illegal activities, to which the collector also agrees to support Neera and takes Neera and Ram with him in the car to Sami. Then upon arrival, the collector lowers his head upon seeing Sami, and seeing this, Neera realizes that this collector has also been bought. Then Neera moves forward, sees a bank in front of Sami, and talks about buying the entire village, which makes Swami very angry. Then Ram seats Neera inside the car and approaches Swami, saying that I know you have set up your camera on the colleague. And when we went to report against you for marijuana, you heard all that, didn't you? So tell me where else you have set up the camera. Ram is saying all these things to him, and at the same time Ram tells Sami that I have beaten your man Vada a lot before, maybe he hasn't told you yet, which makes Sami very angry, and he is about to hit Ram. Then the collector stops him, saying that we shouldn't do anything right now, because first we need a certificate for the song about cannabis, and for that we need Meera's signature, after which we can supply cannabis all over India. That is the reason Sami deceitfully called Neera here. At this point, Samir also says nothing. Then the next day, Sami receives a debit message which informs him that the deal has been done. Hearing this, Samir becomes happy and starts having his men prepare packets of cannabis. Then as all the packets are made, Sami starts calling debit, but he doesn't get any network. And that's when we find out that the one sending the message is none other than Ram, who had hacked Shami's phone. As Sham continues to send money to people, all those people's phones get hacked, and the money is donated to Ram Siddhar and others. Because Ram's friend knew about technology, and stealing was second nature to Ram. Then Sami finds out that all his money has been donated to an orphanage. Now Sami sends his men to the orphanage, which Ram also finds out about. Ram quickly calls his friend and tells him to put his photo on Sami's own in the name of the orphanage owner, so that if anyone comes, they come for Ram and no one else gets harmed. Seeing Ram's photo here, Sami is shocked, and then he kidnaps Ram and Neera's grandfather. Then we see that Sami's men feed Ram a lot of marijuana and start beating him, and this is when we learn about the relationship between Neera's grandfather and Ram. In fact, once, grandfather saw Ram stealing, who was an orphan. Then he himself sent Ram to the orphanage and used to send money for him every month so that his life could be fulfilled. A few days later, Neera's grandfather went to adopt Ram and Fani, but Ram decided to stay with his friends, so he refused to go with them for some time, after which Neera's grandfather returned to the village and continued to send money for Ram every single year. Neera's grandfather had stopped sending money for Ram, and we are shown the scene from the year 2002 where Neera's grandfather and Faiz were unable to send money because Sami had taken control of the entire village. It is there that we discover a truly shocking fact. Ram had already found out that Neera was coming to India, so he opened a security company with his friends and somehow tricked his way into Neera's security to ensure no harm came to her, because he wanted to protect Dadaji's family at all costs. Anyway, in the present, Ram beats up all of Swami's goons badly. And just then Ram sobers up, so Swami sends him a video in which two villagers are making cannabis together. Seeing this, Ram gets scared that if this video gets out, the entire village will be arrested. Therefore, Ram tells Swami to make whatever deal he wants there ready, but nothing should happen to the villagers. On this, Swami asks Neera to sign the papers and also to get permission to sell cannabis in the name of Neera's father's company. He was going to do all this and also tells Ram to export all his marijuana, which Ram has to export. Then the next day, Ram goes to meet Sami at his house, where Sami thinks he's Mina dead, and Ram tells him that they are all still asleep under the influence of marijuana. And I told you, didn't I, that you won't be able to harm anyone? You must have seen, after which a fight breaks out between Ram and Swami. And just then Victor arrives and starts firing at Swami and tells Swami that I have found Atat. Swami tells Victor, "No, sir, I am not Robin Hood." And Victor does not listen to a single word he says and arrests him because Victor knows it was sent by Ram through his friend, and he also hacked Sammy's fingerprints to completely convince Victor that Sammy was behind all this, after which Victor asks Ram what he is doing there. Ram tells Victor that he was also there to catch someone, after which Victor puts Sammy in jail, and a minister comes to meet him in the evening. However, seeing Sammy's condition, the minister quietly leaves because he didn't want to get involved in any trouble, and then Sammy goes after him. "He hasn't treated me well either, and I will kill him." This is where we find out that Robin Hood had also hacked debit by his account and transferred all the money to the name of Fanny, after which Sim shifts into a flashback where we see Orphanage Murty narrating the story of a thief to Ram and a boy, and here the other boy is none other than David, meaning Ram and David were childhood friends and used to live together in the orphanage. With this suspense, the movie ends here. Friends, let us know in the comments how you liked this movie.